Hello and welcome to the channel Designing Made Easy. In this video tutorial, I'm going to talk about Extruded Boss or Base. This is a video series in which I'm going to cover each and every feature we have in SolidWorks in detail so that you can master these features while practicing. The most important feature we have in SolidWorks is Extruded Boss or Base. To start with Extruded Boss or Base, I'm going to create a part. It is going to be a cube. I can choose any plane for this. For now, I'm going with top plane and I'm going to draw a square. It is a very good habit to define the sketch fully while designing in SolidWorks. If you want to use the regular Extruded Boss or Base we have in SolidWorks, first click on Extruded Boss or Base and then select the plane and then draw the sketch. That is one way to do it. Or you can start with the sketch directly on any plane and then you can go to feature without exiting the sketch and you can choose Extrude Boss or Base. So here we have certain conditions or parameters here and you can see them on the left side of the screen. I'm going to explain blind, and I think most of the people who are watching this video are aware of blind. In blind end condition, we have to give a depth. So here, by default, we have a value of 10 mm. I'm going to change this to 80 mm so that it becomes a cube. So this is regular extruded boss or base. And here we have a 3D model or a solid body. You can edit this boss extrude by simply right clicking on this and then click on edit feature. Now you can change the height of this, maybe 40, or you can change the end conditions here. But for now, I'm going to leave it at 80 and I'm going to click on OK. As you can see, we have the body here. You can simply double click on this body and change the features. So I'm just double clicking on this. As you can see, we have the dimensions here. So if you double click on this again, you can change the dimensions here. So it's going to become 60, but you won't be able to see any kind of change here. That is because we are supposed to rebuild this part. So when I rebuild this part, you can see the change. To rebuild a part, all you need to do is you need to click on this rebuild button, or you can simply press Ctrl B, or you can also find the same button over here. And I can also change the height, the extrusion height, by double clicking on this. I want to change it to 60, and I want to change this one to 60 as well. So here I'm not going into this extrude boss or base feature, or I'm not editing the sketch which is under this boss extrude. So you can also edit the sketch, right click on this and then simply edit the sketch. So we cannot see the changes here. To see the changes, click on rebuild or simply Ctrl+B. So this is one way to use the regular extrude boss or base. So we already have a body here. Now I'm going to explore more features or more conditions we have in boss extrude. So the first one we can see here is from, and under from it is sketch plane. So basically what this means is the extrusion, which means this extrusion is going to start from the plane. So the plane we have chosen for this particular part is top plane. This sketch is on top plane and the extrusion is starting from top plane. Now I'm going to choose another condition. Here we have offset. When I click on offset, SolidWorks will ask you to give an offset value. So if you give an offset value, let's say 10 mm, if I give 10 mm here, the extrusion will start from 10 mm above this top plane. So 10 mm, as you can see, we have a difference of 10 mm here or a gap of 10 mm here. You can also send this downwards, that is in reverse direction, by simply clicking on this button. As you can see here, the extrusion is 10 mm below this surface. In the previous case, the extrusion is above the surface, and when we choose sketch plane, the extrusion will be on the surface or on the sketch plane. So this is one option we have, and I'm gonna change it back to sketch plane and click on OK. As you can see, we have other options here other than sketch plane and offset. We also have surface, face or plane, and vertex. We can't use this one, that is because we don't have any other body except this one. So I'm going to click on OK, and I'm going to create another body and use those options on that body. So here I'm going to go to normal and sketch. Here I want to draw a circle. It can be of any radius because this is just for practice. So I'm going to give a value of 30 diameter. Now the sketch is fully defined. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to features and then extrude boss or base. But this time I'm not going to choose sketch plane. So in this condition, the sketch plane is this face, the top face, because the sketch is on the top face. Now if I choose offset and give a value of 10 mm, you can see there is a gap of 10 mm between this face or surface and the extrusion, or the starting point of extrusion. If I just reverse this, it's going to go into the body. And I already discussed about sketch plane. Now I'm going to show you this one, surface, face or plane. So once you select surface, face or plane, SolidWorks will ask you to select the face or plane. This time I'm going to select this face. As you can see, the extrusion is starting from this point and it is going for a length of 80 mm. Now if I just make it like 150, so the extrusion depth is 150 and the extrusion is starting from this surface because we have selected this surface as the starting point. Also, we have another option, that is vertex. In this case, you can select any vertex on the body. For now, I'm going to select this vertex. Just like the previous case where we have selected surface, face or plane, the extrusion is going to start from this surface because we have the vertex here, the selected vertex. If I choose this vertex here, the extrusion is going to start from this face. So I'm going to go back to sketch plane. Now I'm going to talk about end conditions. So here we have end conditions, and the first end condition we have is blind. We are going to give certain depth to the extrusion. In this case, it is 150. So whatever the depth you are going to give, SolidWorks will extrude it to that depth. Then we also have reverse direction. So that will just reverse the direction of the extrusion. And when you click on this drop down, we also have through all. So here we won't be able to see through all in this direction because we don't have any part over here. But if I just reverse this, you can see the extrusion in this face. Like I said, the extrusion is till here. So that is through all. This is mostly useful for extruded cut. We are not going to use this much in boss extrude, but we are going to use it a lot in cut extrude. And then up to vertex, like Over here, we won't be able to select this because in this direction, we don't have any reference vertex, but in this direction, we do have a vertex, that is this vertex. So I can select this vertex. So the SolidWorks will extrude this shape till this face. And then we also have up to surface. Up to surface is very similar to surface, face, or plane. All you need to do is you need to select the surface which is the same direction so that SolidWorks will extrude the part. Then we have offset from surface. Now this is the surface. So this is the sketch and it is getting extruded in this direction towards this surface. We can give an offset value. And here you need to select the face. I'm going to select this face and I want to give a offset value of 15. As you can see, the extrusion is stopping here, which is at a height of 15 mm from this base surface. So if I just reverse this offset, it's going to come out by 15 mm. And then we have up to body. Now, this is useful if we have another body in this direction. So let's say if I have a body here and if I want to extrude this particular circle or this particular cylinder till this body, I can use up to body. I'm going to show it using another example. So now I'm going to go to midplane. Now, midplane is something which extrudes the material in both the directions and that too in symmetric manner. So here, as you can see, we have 114 as the depth. So if I just change it to 150, here we have 75, and in this direction we have 75, and the plane is exactly in the middle, which is why it is called as midplane. So these are the various end conditions we have in Boss Extrude. Now I'm going to show how to use up to body. For now, I just want to go with blind, and then I want to change the direction of this and click on OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another sketch on top plane. Sketch. So this time I'm going to choose top plane. And I want to draw hundred by 100. So the sketch is fully defined. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Extruded Boss or base, but this time I'm going to give an offset value. Instead of selecting sketch plane, I'm going to offset it by about 400 or maybe let's say 300 mm. So the extrusion is starting from here, which is at a height of 300 mm from this surface or top plane. And it's going to be 150. So I'm going to leave it that way. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one. So this is Boss Extrude 2, and I'm going to edit this. As you can see, we are not able to see the third Boss Extrude. That is because under design tree, we have Boss Extrude next to Boss Extrude 3 after Boss Extrude 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to long press this Boss Extrude 3 and I'm going to place it below Boss Extrude 1. Now in the design tree, we have Boss Extrude 3 in the first and Boss Extrude 2 in the second. Now when I click on edit feature, that is Boss Extrude 2, you can see the Boss Extrude 3. So under direction 1, I'm going to choose up to body. Now SolidWorks will ask you to select the body. So this is the body that we are going to select. So as you can see, the extrusion is done till this body and it stops exactly here. Now there is another feature which is very important under Boss Extrude. So I'm going to right click on Boss Extrude 3. So as you can see, we have this folder which says solid bodies. Now when you expand it, we have two different solid bodies, that is Boss Extrude 3, that is first one, and Boss Extrude 2, that is second one. And under Boss Extrude 2, we have two bodies, that is Boss Extrude 1 and Boss Extrude 2. So here we have two solid bodies, but in ideal condition, we have three different bodies. This is the first body, this is second body, and this is third body. Now I want to separate all these bodies into single solid body, and then I want to save them as new file. I can do so by simply clicking on this Boss Extrude 2, edit feature, and then unchecking this merge result. Okay. As you can see, now we have three different bodies. Boss Extrude 1, which is the base part, Boss Extrude 3, which is the top one, and Boss Extrude 2, which is the cylinder that is in between the third and first. So we have three different bodies. You can hide this and can only save this one as a single file, or you can show this and you can delete any of the part that you wish to. So what you need to do is right click on this. Here you can see an option which says delete or keep body. Here, now I have selected Boss Extrude 1 and I want to delete this body. So click on OK. Now we only have Boss Extrude 3 and Boss Extrude 2. This is most useful when you are designing something complex. Let's say if you are doing some curved surfaces, that time you can use this feature. Now the first solid body is disappeared, but if you want to bring it back, you can right click on this. OK. Keep bodies. OK. So this time we only have the first body. If you want the whole design to be brought up again onto the design canvas, simply delete this feature and you can see everything here. Now if you want to have only this body, which is Boss Extrude 2, right click, delete or keep body. Now select keep bodies here and click on OK. You won't see Boss Extrude 1 and Boss Extrude 3 here, and if you want to see it, right click on this and then delete. Once you delete it, you're back at the previous design. We also have another feature, so I'm going to apply that feature to Boss Extrude 3 here. Edit feature. Here we have a thing called draft on or off. So click on draft. Here you won't be able to see that 1 degree here, but if I'm going to give something like 15 degree, you can see draft. So we are giving a draft angle of 15 degrees in all the directions. As you can see, there is 15-degree draft in all the directions. And if I simply click on draft outward, it's gonna draft it in outward direction with an angle of 15 degrees from the vertical. So this way you can also give draft to the Boss Extrude. It can be any kind of shape. Even if it is cylinder, you can give draft. I'm going to show you how. Right click on Boss Extrude, edit. Here I want to give a draft and an angle of 5 degrees. So as you can see, an angle of 5-degree draft is going to make the part look like this. So I just want to give an angle of 1 degree. As you can see, the cross section is decreasing as it goes to the top. And if you just click on draft outward, it's going to look like this. The cross section will increase towards the top. Again, if you want this whole thing to be a single body, all you have to do is uh, right click on Boss Extrude 3 and merge result. Right click on Boss Extrude 2 and merge result. Now, as you can see, we only have a single body, which is this body. Now I want to go back to Boss Extrude and I want to explore direction 2. Now direction 2, we are going to have the same options under direction 2, and if you give 150 here, the extrusion is going to be in this direction, or you can simply change the value. You can give a value of 10 or you can give a value of 50. So you will see an extrusion of 50 mm in this direction. So that is in direction 2. And then you also have draft on or off. So you can give a draft in another direction. You can also change the angle. You can also make it something like draft outward, or simply uh, you can create some parts like this. I'm going to show you how. So right click on Boss Extrude 3, edit feature. Now here in direction 1, instead of blind, I'm going to choose midplane and I'm going to draft. And if I give a value of 5 degrees, you can see the change here. And if I give a value of 15, so this is how it's going to look like. So you can play around with Extruded Boss or base using the end conditions and parameters we have. I hope you like this video. See you in the next video in which I'm going to talk about extruder cut. Until then, bye bye.